The darkest twists in crime history often unravel the terrifying truth behind what seems like an ordinary world, where the boundaries between good and evil blur in horrifying ways. These sinister tales expose the depths of human depravity, where those who are once trusted can become the perpetrators of unimaginable violence. Victims, often innocent and unsuspecting, fall prey to meticulously crafted schemes, leaving behind trails of devastation that haunt both survivors and the communities involved. In the shadows of these stories lie the hidden motivations and relentless forces that drive individuals to commit the unthinkable. These grim chronicles serve as chilling reminders of the fragility of safety and the unpredictable nature of human darkness. Case of Christa Luth. Today, we uncover the chilling story of a young woman with a bright future, a troubling breakup, and a mysterious disappearance that haunts a community to this day. This is the tragic tale of Christa Luth, a passionate botanist whose life was tragically cut short, and the man who remains at the centre of a dark and twisted mystery. Christa wasn't just a student. She was a brilliant scholar with a deep love for plants. With one degree already in botany, she was working towards another in horticulture, dreaming of joining the prestigious graduate program at Cornell University. But despite her ambitions, she faced personal struggles. After ending her relationship with her boyfriend, Brad Cornea, Christa found herself living alone in a small apartment, burdened by financial strain. The breakup left her in a tough spot financially, forcing her to consider selling her beloved truck and taking on part-time work. Despite the challenges, she confided in her father that she was determined to make things work. But behind her resolve was a disturbing reality. Her ex-boyfriend wouldn't stop contacting her. Calls, messages. He was relentless. On the evening of November 11th, 2008, Christa seemed to be going about her day as usual. She spoke briefly with a neighbour before heading out for her evening class at a greenhouse not far from her apartment. Her mood appeared upbeat, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. But Christa never made it to class. She vanished without a trace. When friends couldn't reach her, they broke into her apartment to check on her. Her cat, Moet, was there, hungry and alone. Lights were left on, and dinner was half prepared on the stove, as if she had been interrupted. Those closest to her insisted that Christa would never abandon her pet or her responsibilities. It was clear something, or someone, had lured her away. Suspicion quickly fell on her ex-boyfriend, Brad. Investigators discovered he was the last person Christa contacted that day. Witnesses even placed him near her apartment on the night she disappeared. A deputy recalled stopping to help him with a broken-down truck just miles from her home, but Brad claimed he had already called for a tow truck. In the weeks that followed, chilling discoveries were made. Christa's shattered phone, her debit card, and her driver's license were found discarded miles away. Investigators pieced together a timeline that pointed directly to Brad's involvement, but without a body, building a solid case was a daunting challenge. Brad's behaviour became increasingly suspicious. His story changed with each interrogation, and his phone records revealed disturbing details. He had even racked up hundreds of dollars in charges for adult content, using Christa's phone after she disappeared. The theory investigators developed was grim. It's believed Brad convinced Christa to meet him, perhaps under the guise of reconciliation. When she rejected him, something snapped. In a fit of rage, he likely ended her life and disposed of her body, which remains hidden to this day. Years passed and the case grew colder. But Brad's troubling behaviour didn't stop. In 2017, he was convicted on unrelated charges, including human trafficking and cybercrimes, earning a lengthy prison sentence. Despite his incarceration, the shadow of Christa's disappearance continued to loom. Then, in 2021, investigators made a bold move. With circumstantial evidence mounting and a determination not to let Christa's case fade into obscurity, authorities issued a warrant for Brad's arrest in connection to her presumed murder. Christa Luth was a kind and brilliant young woman, beloved by her friends and family. Though justice has yet to fully prevail, her story is a haunting reminder of the darkness that can hide behind familiar faces. Her loved ones still hope for closure, and for the answers they've been searching for all these years. But as of now, her body has never been found, and the case remains open. For Christa's family, Each year without resolution is another painful chapter in their quest for truth. Even as Brad Cornea serves his sentence for other crimes, the mystery of Christa's disappearance lingers like an unanswered question. Her father, in particular, has expressed a deep frustration with the slow progress of the case, but his hope remains that one day, someone will speak up, or that new evidence will emerge to finally give Christa the justice she deserves. Until then, Christa's memory lives on through the people who loved her, and the fight for answers continues. As we close the chapter on Christa Luth's haunting disappearance, the search for answers continues. But sometimes, justice takes years to materialize, as seen in the unsettling case of Virginia Hannon. After decades of uncertainty, a breakthrough finally gave her family the closure they desperately needed. Watch the full video to uncover how persistence, time, and forensic science brought justice to Virginia, and how it may one day do the same for Christa. Case of Virginia Hannon. In 1984, in the quiet town of Pembroke, Massachusetts, a brutal crime shattered the tranquility of a peaceful neighborhood and left unanswered questions for nearly 4 decades. This is the unsettling story of Virginia Hannon, a kind-hearted woman whose life was tragically cut short in a way no one could have imagined. Virginia, affectionately known to many as Ginny, was a beloved figure in her town. She had worked as a lunch lady for years at Bryantville Elementary School and was known for her warm personality, culinary talents, and generosity. Her small yellow house stood as a beacon of kindness. Children would stop by for her famous cookies, and stray animals found a safe haven in her yard. Having lost her husband over a decade earlier, Virginia lived alone but maintained a strong connection to her community. Every Saturday evening, she attended Mass at St. Joseph's Church with her close friend Dolly Harmouth. Their weekly tradition involved attending Mass together and then enjoying dinner at a nearby diner. But on February 13th, 1984, that warmth turned to darkness. Virginia, 59 years old, was found dead in her bed. Concerned when she failed to bring lunch to her stepfather as she always did, his housekeeper went to check on her. What she discovered was horrifying. Virginia's lifeless body was covered with a blanket, and the scene hinted at a violent struggle. Investigators found disturbing evidence at the scene. Nylon stockings had been used to strangle her, and a shoe print on her torso suggested she had been kicked during the assault. Signs of forced entry indicated someone had broken into her home. Her wallet, which had previously held a $100 bill seen by her friend Dolly during their dinner 2 nights earlier, was missing. The serene neighborhood was thrown into chaos. How could something so brutal happen to someone so universally loved? Speculation began to circulate. Virginia had received a significant inheritance years earlier, and though she had put most of it in the bank, some believed she might have kept cash hidden in her home. Could this rumor have reached the wrong ears, leading to a deadly break-in? Despite the efforts of investigators, no suspects were identified. The case grew colder with each passing year. Then, in 2018, a glimmer of hope emerged. Advances in forensic technology allowed investigators to reanalyze the evidence. They were able to extract a male DNA profile from the crime scene, but even with this new clue, no match was found in the system, and the case stalled again. The breakthrough came in 2020, in the most unexpected way. Jesse Aylward, a man whose life had been marked by struggles, made a disturbing confession to a friend. He admitted that he was responsible for Virginia's death. Jesse's friend only came forward after Jesse died in 2019, and investigators were able to use a sample of Jesse's blood to compare it to the DNA from the crime scene. It was a match. Jesse had been just 22 years old when he committed the brutal crime. There was no known connection between him and Virginia. Authorities believe she was simply a random target of his violent impulses, someone whose openness and kindness may have unknowingly made her vulnerable to his cruelty. In March 2021, the district attorney's office announced that the case was closed. Virginia's family, who had waited 37 agonizing years for answers, finally found closure. Her nephew expressed gratitude for the persistence of law enforcement and the advancements in forensic science that had made it possible to identify her killer. Although justice came late, Virginia's memory endures in the hearts of everyone she touched. Her yellow house, once a symbol of kindness, now serves as a poignant reminder of her life, and the senseless cruelty that took it away. What happened to her was tragic and unnecessary, but her legacy of love and generosity remains. In memory of Virginia Hannon, her story stands as a testament to the enduring pursuit of justice, no matter how much time passes. The heartbreaking stories of Christa Luth and Virginia Hannon highlight the enduring search for justice, even when years pass without answers. Christa's mysterious disappearance, linked to her ex-boyfriend, remains unresolved, leaving her family in a painful quest for closure. In contrast, Virginia's decades-long unsolved murder was finally brought to justice through advanced forensic science and a disturbing confession. Both cases underscore the resilience of loved ones and the unwavering hope that truth, no matter how elusive, will eventually prevail. Their stories remind us that justice, while often delayed, can still be achieved. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more from Horrendous Horror.